Hey, what's going on, guys? This is your boy Garati Joseph here, your local real estate agent in the Broward County area. And we got my partner in crime, Ronnie, here, the mortgage dad. As always, we just like to talk about real estate with you guys and what's going on in the market, just providing stuff that's relevant to you guys. I'm going to go ahead and let Ronnie go ahead and do his introduction to you guys.
Hey everybody, Ron Fairley here, the mortgage dad down here in South Florida. I was always trying to, get with Karate, give you some local updates, see what's going on with the industry, and hope you get some value out of it.
Exactly. I love that. Get some value out of it. As far as getting value, also, we got to throw in the fact that we have our free consultation program going on where you guys want to kind of tell us where you're at in your real estate journey and you get the best of both worlds as far as the financing part of real estate and as far as the buying and selling part of it. So feel free to sign up for a nice session with us. With all that being said, we're actually going to kind of dive into something that's been on our minds for quite some time, throughout the country as far as inflation. I know this is kind of Ronnie's expertise as far as diving into the technicals regarding this when it comes to real estate. So I'm going to go ahead and let Ronnie take the lead on this.
Yeah. So today we got the Consumer Price Index report, which is basically the inflation report. What's going on with inflation? And it kind of came in as expected. So usually the stock market will kind of have a feeling of how this report's going, and it kind of came on target with what was expected. We're at about 3.1% inflation. That's obviously down a lot from when we were close to about 9% at the peak of
Yeah.
inflation. So
Mhm.
heading in the right direction. And it's funny how each month things can shift, right? So the last few months, it was full press. We may need to raise the Fed's fund rate again. We may need to raise. Now it's all of a sudden, okay, we're not going to raise anymore. And now they're already talking about when are we going to start cutting back the Fed's fund rate? And that will be key. Tomorrow, Jerome Powell will speak and kind of give a little update on what they think is going on this report. And it'll give us some key indicators of when in 2024 are they going to maybe start cutting back the Fed's fund rate. And the reason why that's important when it comes to real estate is historically speaking, when the Fed start cutting back that Fed's fund rate, it really kind of indicates mortgage rates are going to come down as well. Because obviously we've got a handle on inflation. The economy is already kind of slowed down. That's why they're kind of raising inflation, which is unfortunately bad economy, good for mortgage rates. So it kind of seems like the past is behind us with high mortgage interest rates, and now they're going to start ticking down.
Now, with that being said, if their projecting a possible rate cut in 2024, which is great for consumers because that's going to what indicate interest rates are going to drop right now. The last time I checked, they're in the low sevens compared to a month and a half ago, what high sevens.
Yep.
Now, with that being taking that in consideration, I'm telling all my clients, the reality is that's great for you guys. We can kind of just wait on the sidelines and see when rates do come down. If they do, the only thing you got to be mindful of is now you're going to have more buyers in the market. You're going to have a
Yep.
bigger buying pool, but the same number of what? Same number of homes. So I'm not sure what you're telling your clients as far as where they're at in their real estate journey, but I've been
Yep.
telling them from day one, hey, if you can buy today, go ahead and buy today and then refinance in the future. What's that real estate term everyone says? Buy the house, date the rate.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
And just to clarify on that, the Fed's fund rate, when they raise it or lower it, doesn't directly correlate to mortgage rates. So if the
Okay.
Feds raise the Fed's fund rate X percent, doesn't mean mortgage rates are going up X percent and vice
Hmm.
versa. But they obviously have a hand in hand and affect each other. The Fed's fund rate is what the banks can borrow money overnight. So again, your car loans, your credit cards, all that have gone up over the last year since the Feds have raised the Fed's fund rate. And as they start lowering the Fed's fund rate, then credit cards are still going to be high, but maybe not as high. Maybe you'll get better interest rates on cars and stuff like that. So kind of the shorter type loans, what they kind of talk about. So just want to kind of clarify that. But back to your question, yeah, I think if you really hear to a lot of the experts out there, they're all kind of saying the same thing, that they don't think housing is going to go down, right? So it's going to go up at what rate, nobody really knows, but they
Hmm.
feel like, we're not going to go down. So like you said, if you can afford to buy today, it's going to be the best price you're probably going to get in the next couple of years. And like you said, you can always refinance down the road to get maybe a better interest rate than what today's at. They're expecting over the next year or two rates to kind of continue to come down.
And it's funny in our culture, usually the celebrities and the athletes are the ones that's normally getting all the attention and notoriety. But now it's like the guys behind the desk are the ones who are really getting the attention. Like this guy, Jerome Powell. Who would have thought a couple of years ago we all know him by his first name? And we like
Yeah.
seriously, like think about that. Like we're really paying attention to these, where rates are being raised in the Federal Reserve. Like it's like, wow, this thing is becoming so much more relevant and important in our lives because it happened very quickly with rates going as high as they did in a short period of time. It kind of forced you to say, hey, what's going on? Which is why it's crucial where you want to make sure you have the right people telling you the right information and more so the right professional and people
Yeah.
that actually are doing this on a day-to-day basis, living this, breathing this, because that makes a huge difference on where you're at in your journey in real estate and making the best decision based off facts, not hearsay.
Yeah. And you'll see the market probably move tomorrow. I think he speaks in the afternoon, and it's kind of like a roller coaster. As he says one thing, everybody reacts, and you'll see the market dip down or dip up, and then 3 minutes later he says something else, and then the market
Yeah,
reacts to
yeah.
that. So it's so crazy. You have to wait till usually after market when the dust settles and everybody can analyze what he said
Yeah,
and take
well
the
said.
good, the
Yeah,
bad, and so
and for those who may not be, when he's talking about the market, he's not talking about the real estate market, but more so the stock market. So
yes, thank you.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a great point. So I know I'm looking forward to 2024 to kind of see where things are going. With the decisions with the Federal Reserve and Jerome Powell and how that's going to impact real estate. And like you just educated us, just because they either whether they cut rates or raise rates, there isn't a direct correlation to it, but there is a relationship to it when it
Correct.
comes to interest rates. Okay.
And again, just to kind of recap, because we talked about a lot of different stuff that people probably aren't used to, the technical stuff,
Yeah.
is we're heading in the direction where interest rates are coming down. And it's been consistent like that over the last month. And just all the reports are starting to come in sync with that. And this consumer price index report, which we kind of call it inflation update, has been kind of saying the same thing. So I think that's the big thing to take out of this report is we seem to be, the economy seems to have a handle on this inflation. It's coming down. And then now the talk is when are we going to start cutting rates versus
Yeah.
raising them, which is most of this year is how much more do we raise? How much more do we raise? And now the conversation shifted to when do we start cutting? So that should be interesting to see in the next few months of when they say they're going to start cutting the rates.
And also, are they going to cut as fast as they raised it? We don't know, so
Yeah.
that's going to be interesting. But even with all that being said, the reality is, hey, if you're in the market to buy property in South Florida, inventory is where it's going to be. They're not going to be building another, 2 to 3 million homes within the next 12 months or so. So if
Yeah.
once again, I don't like sound like a broken record, but got to be mindful of the fact that hey, if you're in a position where you can afford and buy a home today, and you want to buy in the South Florida market, it's key, it's crucial to make sure you have the right people on your team, especially if rates continue to move in the direction that they're currently at, which is good because you want more people to be in a position to buy a home. At the same time, more people, less homes. Do the math. It's not that complicated, supply and demand. So, low supply, high demand mean what prices are going to kind of start going back up. So all that being said, it's just more so not to scare you as a buyer or even a seller, but more so just kind of inform you and educate you how crucial it is to have the right facts and information and to make sure you have the right people on your team providing you that information and those facts.
Yeah. Well said.
Yeah. So that being said, short and sweet and simple. Like you said, like we said earlier in the show, we just like to provide you guys with value, so information that can really provide insight on where you're at in your real estate journey. So as always, we just like to talk real estate and add value to you guys. So just want to appreciate you guys taking time out your day to listen to us. I'll let Ronnie go ahead and sign us out.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks. And you got any questions you've got about inflation or real estate, don't forget, reach out into the comments.
Beautiful. All right, you guys enjoy your Tuesday.
Take care.
Yeah, beautiful.